The moment I said, "She's my wife," I thought I was making a harmless joke. But the look in her eyes changed everything. She froze for a second, her smile became softer, and then she lowered her head with a blush I had never seen before. In a voice so quiet that it almost disappeared into the noise around us, she whispered, "I wish that were true." Those few words stayed with me longer than anything anyone had ever said. Because behind that small confession was a story of years of pain, silent sacrifices, and two hearts that had been afraid to admit what they truly wanted. Before I tell you how everything changed between us, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of a good heart, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel Echoes of Hope. Your support helps more stories like this reach people who need them. My name is Kieran, and for most of my life, I believed that love was something meant for other people. I watched friends fall in love, build families, and create memories, but I always felt like I was standing outside a window looking into a world I could never enter. I wasn't someone who had everything figured out. I spent my younger years chasing responsibilities, trying to fix problems before they became disasters. I worked long hours, helped my family whenever I could, and convinced myself that being alone was easier than risking heartbreak. Then I met Maribel. She wasn't the kind of person who entered a room and demanded attention. She didn't need to. There was something calm about her, something warm that made people feel safe. She had a way of listening that made you feel like your words actually mattered. I first met her during a difficult time in my life. I had just lost my job, my confidence was gone, and every morning felt heavier than the one before. I remember sitting alone in a small coffee shop, staring at my phone, trying to find some reason to believe things would get better. That was when she noticed I had dropped a folder full of important papers. She picked everything up, carefully arranged the pages, and handed them back to me with a gentle smile. It was such a small act, but at that moment, it felt like someone had reminded me that the world still had kindness in it. Over time, our friendship grew naturally. We talked about everything. Dreams we had never told anyone. Fears we tried to hide. Memories we wished we could rewrite. Maribel carried her own struggles quietly. She had spent years taking care of everyone around her, putting other people's happiness before her own. She was the person everyone called when they needed help, but very few people noticed when she was the one who needed someone. I started seeing the things others missed. The tiredness behind her smile. The way she would say she was fine even when she clearly wasn't. The way she would stay late helping others, then go home to an empty apartment where no one asked how her day had been. And somehow, without realizing it, she became the person I looked for in every crowd. Days became months, and our bond became something neither of us wanted to name. We were closer than ordinary friends, but we were both too afraid to cross that invisible line. I was afraid because I had already lost so much. I wondered if someone like her could truly choose someone like me. She was afraid because life had taught her not to expect too much from people. She had loved before, and she had been left behind. So we stayed in that strange space between friendship and something more. We celebrated each other's victories. We supported each other through difficult nights. We laughed until our problems felt smaller. But every time I wanted to tell her how much she meant to me, fear stopped me. Then came the day everything almost changed. It was a family gathering where everyone kept asking me when I was finally going to settle down. They joked about me being the only person without someone by my side. I looked across the room and saw Maribel standing there, smiling as she talked with my relatives. For a moment, I imagined what it would feel like if she truly belonged there. If she wasn't just my closest friend, but the person I came home to. Someone teased me and asked if I had finally found someone special. Without thinking, I pointed toward Maribel and laughed, saying, "Of course. She's my wife." The room laughed. It was just a joke. Everyone knew it was a joke. Everyone except my heart. Because when I looked at her, I saw something I wasn't prepared for. She wasn't laughing. She looked surprised, almost like she had been holding on to a secret hope and suddenly heard it spoken out loud. Then she smiled shyly, looked away, and whispered those words that changed everything. I wish that were true. For a few seconds, everything around me disappeared. The conversations, the music, the movement of people around us. All I could hear was that sentence. I realized she had been carrying the same feelings I had been hiding. But happiness didn't immediately come. Instead, fear appeared. Because wanting something and believing you deserve it are two very different things. Later that evening, we walked outside into the quiet night. The air was cool, and the streets were almost empty. Neither of us knew how to begin. Finally, Maribel admitted that she had fallen for me a long time ago. She said she tried to ignore it because she was scared that telling me would destroy the friendship we had built. She told me that when I helped her through her hardest days, when I remembered small details about her life, when I showed up without being asked, she started believing that maybe love could be gentle. Her words broke something open inside me. I confessed that I felt the same way. But I also admitted my fears. I told her I was scared of failing her. I was scared that my past mistakes would follow me into whatever future we tried to build. Maribel looked at me and said something I never forgot. She said that the people who care the most about doing things right are often the ones who are afraid they will do them wrong. That night, we didn't make promises about a perfect future. We didn't pretend life would suddenly become easy. We simply decided to stop running from something beautiful. The beginning wasn't like a movie. There were challenges. There were misunderstandings. There were moments when old fears returned. I had to learn how to let someone support me instead of always pretending I was strong. Maribel had to learn that she didn't always have to earn love by sacrificing herself. We grew slowly. We learned each other's habits, our worries, our dreams. We built a relationship not from perfection, but from patience. Months later, I took her to the same coffee shop where we first met. The same place where she picked up my papers and unknowingly helped pick me up too. I gave her a small envelope. Inside was a simple note. It said that years ago I joked about her being my wife, but the truth was that my heart had been wishing for it long before my mouth ever said it. She cried. Not because the words were fancy. Not because the moment was dramatic. She cried because sometimes the greatest love stories are not created by grand gestures. They are created by two people who quietly choose each other again and again. Our wedding was small. Just close friends and family. Nothing extravagant. But when I saw Maribel walking toward me, I remembered that day when she whispered she wished my joke was real. And I realized something. The best moments in life sometimes arrive disguised as accidents. A random meeting. A simple kindness. A joke you didn't mean to say. A feeling you were too scared to admit. Years later, people still laugh when they hear how we started. They find it funny that I accidentally revealed my feelings before I even understood them myself. But whenever someone asks me about that day, I always say the same thing. I didn't joke that she was my wife. Maybe my heart was just telling the truth before I was brave enough to accept it. If this story touched your heart, please show your support by liking the video, sharing it with someone who believes in true kindness, and subscribing to Echoes of Hope. Every comment and every share helps these stories continue reaching people who need a little hope. Before the story ends, I have one special request. Comment the words, "Love finds a way," if you believe that patience, kindness, and second chances can change someone's life. Because sometimes the person standing beside you is not just a friend, not just a stranger, but someone who has been quietly waiting for the right moment to become your greatest blessing. And sometimes the words we say as a joke are the dreams our hearts have been protecting all along.